Namaskar. Hello, friends. Look at life as if it's a movie. We all watch movies. We are familiar with the situation in which a lady in a nearby seat in the movie hall gets too involved in an emotional scene being projected on the screen, showing the villain torturing the heroine, and starts crying as if she is the heroine on the screen. Or a child getting on the edge of his seat when a fight sequence appears on the screen. The child's hands start moving involuntarily as if he is himself fighting. Others in the audience may get involved in the movie to varying degrees and accordingly may have different experiences. Those who get involved more experience the pains and pleasures of the screen characters as if they are their own. Others who are fully aware that it's only a play of light and shadow view it with a complete detachment. In that regard, I remember my experience of seeing movies in the Convocation Hall of Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay campus. There always used to be some students not serious about any movie. At the height of a suspense thriller scene, they would roll a Coke bottle noisily down the slope of the auditorium to bring the audience back to the reality. Most of us in real life too behave like this lady or the child, not realizing that the so called real life is no more real than a movie projected on a screen. In the process, they have to go through the pains and pleasures of their respective lives. Only self realized persons have the awareness that the goings on in the so called real life are only projections on our mental screens through a software program being run by the Almighty, and as such, they are able to maintain a detached equanimity in life. For example, pain is nothing but a specific programmed response by our body to certain specific inputs. If the program were to be a little different, the pain would not be there at all. So it is the experiencer whose program interprets the input as being a source of pain and also experiences the pain. Going one step further, I may even say that there is no reality in the so called external input either. It's all simply a self projection within my mind, by my mind, excuse me, interpreted by my mind in a particular way. It's my mind, mind and mind all the way, conjuring up the entire drama and nothing else. If so, why grieve over a pain or exult over a pleasure, both of which are a play of my own mind? Wisdom lies in my assuming a detached observer's, that is, witness role, which is called Sakshi Bhav in Sanskrit, by getting out of and away from the character that I am conditioned to believe as myself. It is akin to my reminding myself, whenever I start getting affected by the happenings on the screen, that I am separate from the movie projection that is unreal, and that my real existence has nothing to do with the movie story. Then the emotional agitation of mind subsides, and I feel better and at peace with myself. In other words, I must learn to not take life seriously. Of course, this does not mean not doing anything. So long as I am having this embodied existence, I will continue to go through the bodily as well as mental processes that I am programmed for. Hence, in every situation, I am programmed to think what I should do and I act accordingly. While this is as real on a physical plane as it can be, wisdom lies in me reminding myself constantly that the outcome of my actions does not matter one way or the other. That is the meaning of not taking life seriously. It boils down to firstly going with the flow of life without mentally resisting whatever has already happened, and secondly, not keeping any expectations about the future. Get the ghost of worldly life off your neck. A child mistakenly believes that there is a ghost lurking in the darkness in a remote room on the top floor of his house or in the attic. No amount of convincing by his parents can get that fear out of his mind. It is only when the child grows into an adult that he realizes that there is no ghost in that room. Was there a ghost in that room? Did it take any effort on the part of the child to drive it away? No, the ghost wasn't there in the room in the first place. It was there only in the child's mind. So, what was required was only a reformation of the mind. However, the reformation of the mind could not happen except through a gradual process of growing up. Did the child make any specific efforts to grow up? No, it was a natural process. But it took a certain time period. Now, on this background, let us look at the spiritual evolution that we as human beings are supposed to achieve. It is said that our perception of bondage to the perceptible world is a play of our mind, just like the child's fear of the ghost. This bondage cannot be got rid of by any specific efforts towards that objective. Just like the child can hardly make any specific efforts to rid himself of the fear of ghost. However, if and when one grows up spiritually, he can rid himself of the bondage of the worldly life. That is the liberation or moksha. There, however, are some important differences in the two cases, namely the ghost child case on one hand and the human moksha case on the other hand. The ghost child case is one where a completely natural process is guaranteed in almost every case, except possibly the few exceptions where a person is unfortunate to be not adequately intellectually endowed and hence remains an idiot, so to say. However, every human being does not naturally evolve to the moksha state over a certain definite time period. The reason is as follows. A child is afraid of the ghost and hence in his mind he wants to be rid of that fear. He sees that his father is not afraid of the ghost, so he also wishes to be rid of that fear too. He has the desire for that liberation, and that forms the foundation for his mind eventually coming out of the fear. But when it comes to liberation, the situation is contrary. Most people are in love with the perceptible world and like to cling onto it. So they don't have any desire to attain moksha. Given such a mindset, the person has no chance of attaining moksha. So the desire for attaining liberation is the fundamental requirement. It may possibly be equated with awareness, an awareness that this perceptible world is an illusion, that the identification with one's body is a false identity. If this awareness is there, then the spiritual evolution or growth will follow naturally. However, the attainment of moksha, even after having the desire for liberation, will still take its time. Just like the child, despite his desire to be rid of the fear of the ghost, took a few years to actually reach that fearless state. Attainment of moksha by the seeker will not depend on the efforts or means adopted for it, though most will prefer to make some efforts towards attaining moksha, because our conditioning dictates to us that we have to do something to get something. It is more for the mental balance that most mumukshus will make some effort. But ultimately and fundamentally, it is the internal self-reformation of mind that will liberate the seeker. Everything belongs to its space and time. At any given moment, there is a certain reality that is existing. It cannot be wished away at the present moment. You have to live the present moment as it really is. It means that there is no point in our mind playing the game of going into the past and trying to re-engineer the past, as if by doing that, this moment will change for the better. But yes, there is nothing wrong in wanting something to be different or better in future from what it is at the present moment. At least so long as one hasn't managed to become completely detached. But the important thing is to approach this objective positively. That is, one should not make oneself feel bad about why the present moment is what it is. Accept the present moment as perfectly belonging to its space and time, fitting well into the big picture created by the Creator. Then think what action you can take to actualize the desired scenario at a future point in time, and take that action. If you are desirous of bringing about a certain scenario in future and are moved to work towards it, that also belongs to its own space and time. However, the actual scenario that will emerge may not be what you desired and worked towards. It would be what will belong to its space and time in accordance with the Creator's big picture. Maintain a distance from worldly life. When you look at a hill from a distance, it looks nice, smooth, and pleasantly blue. But if you go near it, it looks dusty, rocky, and brown. If you stand at the right distance from the fireplace on a winter night, it feels nicely warm. But if you go too close, it feels uncomfortably hot. So stand afar from the worldly life and it will feel nice. But go too close to it and it will cause suffering. I'll stop here today. See you the next time. Until then, bye. Take care.